Yes, good morning, my people. As you could see, we continue from yesterday where we left off, exposing the corrupt thief, the politicians, and the corporate wards, which are also called criminal with a badge, which is the police officers, for enforcing policies, taking over the people government and robbing them. Okay? Now, what I have to straighten out for the people and them is about this treaty, secret treaty of Verona. Now, I just show you a clip of it so you could see secret treaty of Verona, and then you have my declaration over there and my indigenous nationality card and the Magna Carta Treaty, affidavit of sovereignty, and also the Constitution. Okay, now I'm gonna just switch it around so that you people can see what is going on in this place for the corruption that these people has been brought upon us and the taking over of our government. So let me just briefly turn on the film for you people so we could get an insight of what's really taking place. Now, as you see, I read out the secret treaty of Verona indicating what this treaty really meant. Now I'm going to explain it more in details for you people. Secret Treaty of Verona basically explains to you that the Monroe Doctrine is the doctrine that is used by the Prime Minister of Austria in 1822 as a document designed to take the government from the people by the elected officials and take it over as they are the government and exploit the people by creating so-called revenue raisers, which they would call a tax, to exploit and rob the people of the daily life, which in all constitutions, it says that the constitution is written for the people, and therefore the people, every law must pass in benefit of the people, and if it's not in benefit of the people, it's a violation of the people's rights, such as the land tax, the so-called taxes for driver's license, that is a fraud. All these are called frauds. The immigration taxes, all these are called frauds. All these taxes are called frauds for the politicians and his party members, which are called the secret societies, which are members of the Bar Association that sign the legions. And the meaning of legions for you people, legions mean mass, crowd, mob, gang, demons. So they're actually demons, okay? They sign themselves to keep the common man who's not aware and who don't take time to read and learn. Now, let me get it back to you. Monroe Doctrine is the doctrine that they designed so that when they claim that they are a representative, when they go into power, they don't consult you and make decisions based on your preference and what is in your best interest. They make decisions based on what they desire and how much money that they can rob from you. So they implement policies and use the police officers to enforce. Okay? That's why you see I had to outline the Monroe Doctrine, which is the secret treaty of Verona, so that it would specifically details what these corporate thieves came and what they did. That's why in this it says, I wish to put in record the secret treaty of Verona of November 22, 1822, showing that the accent conflict between the rule of the few and the rule of the many. Now the rule of the few are the politicians, which is the politricksters, and the rule of the many are the people, which is supposed to be the real government. But the politicians thief your government and take it over. Okay, let me give you one example of what I'm trying to explain, because a lot of people hear me reading it, but for a lack of knowledge, they didn't try to even watch the video over and over to go in detail. I had some questions about some people. What do you mean? What do you mean? But if you really take a step, listen to the video and acknowledge what I was saying in the video about the secret treaty of Verona and take it into concept. If you have any not too much clue and it's very hard for you to get me live and direct, you can go on the net and type in the secret treaty of Verona and get a copy of it, and you can all learn, and within reading I sure you will get to understand, because it's plain sight. and you will be able to comprehend. Now, what I will had to explain to some people so that they could get into context, that the rule of the few are the thieves, which is called politicians. So what they do, they take over your government. You are the government, but they take it over. And they make policies to exploit you in the form of taxes, which are a violation of your rights, and is a violation of the same constitution that they signed to uphold. So they're not upholding the constitution. Neither is the judge, nor the magistrate, nor the prosecutor, nor the police. They're enforcing policies that are designed by the politician to exploit you. Your taxpayers' money are paying them to also come back and exploit you. Now we have to put a stop to it. That's why I'm educating you people and I'm teaching you about this. Now the Secret Treaty of Verona explained that this is supposed to be stopped. And even though the Secret Treaty of Verona was signed on behalf of this, deleting this from Europe and not making it enter into the rest part of the world, it still escaped and entered into the rest part of the world, and it was not completely adopted. Neither did that they honor every part of the Secret Treaty of Verona. Okay? They also incarnate and fulfill the evil agenda and the egos, which is completely taking over the people government and exploiting them all the way and creating all these fake revenues, ravers, which are called taxes, which are illegal and unlawful, and is an exploitation of the people. Now, let me get more in details for this now. The Monroe's Doctrine now. Now, when I give you an example now, you will get into context. For instance, you have a contractor you hire to build a house. You give him a plan. There's a design for the house. It must be done in Pacific. Now he goes and do his own work, and he's not working the way you want it, and he's doing it contrary to your plan and your order. What would you do? In most cases, you would fire him and hire somebody who can do the job. Well, it's the same like the politician, and it's also in the Constitution. If you people don't understand the Constitution, I advise everybody to take a copy of the Constitution and study it. Because in the Constitution of your rights that has been violated, you can move whoever Senate that is in position that is infiltrating on your rights. You can move him because he's not doing his work. And in the Constitution, it states that any parliamentarian officials that is not doing the duty that is set for them to do will be removal on strict orders by removing of the people coming out and taking him off his seat in the order of the position of the way the Constitution was written, mostly by staking a release record of what is right and what is not right and what he's doing, and ask him to removal. If he don't, they vote him out completely in a removal procedure. And it's done through the Constitution. It's legal. So don't let them fool you, but you can't move the Prime Minister. However, you can move any one of them. Any one of them is violating your rights. Any one of them is there and is not doing the job. Furthermore, all these people now, no matter who they are, they're all working in court to keep you down. So none of them is doing a job. So now we need to take this thing to our level. So the people now need to form their own private government, and everybody, say you have 150,000 people, you would have to put the people behind every representative, observing and understanding every step in your constituency, what the representatives are doing and what's going to be beneficial for the people. If it is an exploitation for the people, then you cannot have that. So then it can't be passed into law. And don't bother what they tell you, the write or put in gazette and put out in law. It's not a real law because the people did not govern it. Even though they tell you lie, but the people don't vote for exploitation. If the people have a right, then let their voice be heard. Okay? And the people have the right. But the people don't know how to exercise the right. Okay? Now, democracy means for the people and not the thieves who are called politicians. And like I said, if the contractor is not doing your work properly, you fire that. And you get somebody who will do your work. It's the same with a politician. You remove them. You don't have to wait for no election. Understand this. The Constitution states that removal of office for some parliamentary official will be done in a proper procedure. It's there in the Constitution. Follow it up. They don't have to wait for election. They're not doing the job. They are enforcing policies. They're robbing you. Remove that. Follow the procedure of the Constitution, people. Don't let these fools rule and dictate your life. They are thieves. Now they implement policies such as the license for driver which trying to take your rights to travel as states in the Constitution. Okay? And I will specifically show you people what it is. As states in the Constitution, protection of freedom of movement. Right here. Right here. In the Constitution, as stated in the Constitution, a person shall not be deprived of his freedom of movement. That is to say, the right to freely move throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the right to reside in any part of the state, the right to enter the state, the right to leave the state, and immunity from expulsion from the state. Any restriction on a person's freedom of movement that is involved in unlawful detention shall not be held in consistence with this contravention of this section. And it's a violation of the section, because you cannot make a policy that's going to exploit the people, tell the people that you give them a driver's license as a privilege. Who are you? You get opportunity to work for the people. That's what they are called, civil servants. They represent the people, not the people under their foot. They have to answer to the people, but it's not working like that because the people don't know how to step down and take the power back. That's why the secret treaty of Verona, when it was written and it was never fulfilled in the manner that it was set to fulfill, it was said that to take away the government of representative and give completely back to the people so that the sovereignty of the people can be recognized and not be exploited by these thieves who are called politicians. That's what the secret treaty of Verona definitely means. That's why it says in there, the high contracting powers being convinced that the system of representative government is equally as incompatible. They are incompatible. Means they do not do the work properly with the monarchical principles of the maxi of the sovereignty of the people. It means they do not respect the people. They do not acknowledge the people when you vote them into power. First of all, when they get an election, I know that you will remember these terms that they use when they're going into power. The first thing they say out of their mouth, you have the power in your hand. You are the government people. But when they get into power, they forget that. And now they're trying to exploit you and make you think that they have all the power in their hand and they are the government. That's because you, the people, never stand up. And in every representative, say you have a city or island where you have 15 representatives and it's 120,000 people, you break the people at a group. If it's 8,000 some has to fit in position for each representative, 8,000 some must always be behind that representative to analyze whatever he's doing, where is the money spent, how is it going, and what is it doing. Okay? It's not the way they're doing it. The way they're doing it is thief. They're robbing you. Now the people, because of lack of knowledge, the people don't know how to defend themselves. They don't know how to take back the rights. So that's why you see me coming here and trying to educate the people on the truth. Secret Treaty of Verona was to abandon all of this, not making it come nowhere in countries that it was not to be exist. And they still make it come. It's a violation of the people's right. Okay? That's what it says. Put an end to the system of representative government in whatsoever country it may not exist. But they still brought it. The thieves. We don't need them. Now you have to stand up your foot and step down people. You know, step down people. You know, that's the principles of life. If balance don't take place, right now the earth is unbalanced because the politicians and the security forces are robbing the regular man of his dailyhood, his livelihood, his riches, every single thing. And so he can't even afford a good house. He can't even afford a good meal. He can't take care of his family properly. He's always in debt, always borrowing because of these thieves. So people try to wake up and get the necessary stuff that need to take place. Your constitution, the treaties, and go and defend yourself. They can't win you in no court because they all sign allegiance and they have to obey the constitution. And the constitution, regardless to your taking of the constitution, are more for you than them, my people. Take it up and take what I tell you. If you just don't take my word for granted. Take the Constitution in whatever island that you're in and you read it. When you understand it in the way you're supposed to, you will see how much you can protect your rights and protect yourself. And these thief that is called politicians and these gangsters with badge, you will see how much you trample them in their own court. They can't. They have to obey the Constitution. So the magistrate or the judge, they cannot break. They have to obey that. They sign allegiance. Okay, they sign an oath. They have to obey that. Now the Magna Carta Treaty now. These treaties are designed to protect the Aboriginal people in the island. And when these corporations come to do business, they only occupy the cities and that they pay taxes to the indigenous people. Not try to exploit the indigenous people and charge them tax. That's a violation. I'll state in this. Now I'm going to give you back some principles of the Magna Carta treaties that is very significant of protecting Aboriginal rights. First, we have granted to God and by this our present charter have confirmed for us and our heirs forever that the Church of England shall be free and have all rights and liberties inviolable. We have granted also and given to all the freemen of our realm for us and our heirs forever these liberties underwritten to take, to have, and to hold, to them and their heirs for us and our heirs forever. Now, freeman means a free human being, which is called an Aboriginal. Okay? Like you would see on my declaration, natural living person, freeman. You would see. You would see on my declaration, you would see on my IDs when you read it good. My indigenous, declaration, and you would also see it on my nationality card stating free, natural human being. Okay? That's called a freeman. So don't make them try to play games with you and, denounce you, ignorant, play psychological role like they usually play. Let me go again from the Magna Carta Treaty. A freeman shall not be amurred. Amurred means tax or violated, in his own land. Shall not. Okay, my people? You shall not. That's one. Go again. No tongue or freeman shall be distrained to make bridge or banks. They use the term bridge in a reference of exploiting them to do the dirty work, whether it's in a construction or whatever, and underpaying them or using them as a guinea pig just to get their work doing, which they have done in the past. All this is abandoned. They can't do it anymore. And banks means extort, to rob or to create revenue from them. Okay? That's the definition of the word banks. Means taxation. Okay, my people? So you get a few of these things that I'm going to give you in line. That's from the Magna Carta Treaty. Again, no freeman shall be taken or imprisoned. You hear that? They cannot imprison a freeman. It's his land. That's a violation of the treaty. Or be desired of his freehold. His freehold is all his belongings, everything that is owned. Land, all the resources he have, whether he has a convoy, which they refer to as a car, you cannot. It's a violation. Also in the Constitution, it tells you about deprivation of property. That would be deprivation of property, which is a violation of the same Constitution. Or liberties, or free customs, or be outlaid, or extorted, or extorted, or any otherwise destroyed. Can't destroy him. Nor will we pass upon him judgment, nor condemn him. See that? Cannot. You cannot do that. It's a violation. But by lawfully judgment of his peers, or by the law of the land. Only by the law of the land, which is the common law. Which means if he damage someone, property, or themselves, that is the only time that he can be judged. He's not going to be judged with the evil, fraud, revenue or razor system to exploit you in the form of taxes. That's a violation. That's his land. You cannot come in his land and tell him what to do. Just like he cannot come into your house, unwelcome, and force you to do something against your will. That's called kidnap and extortion. Get it straight. We will sell to no man We will not deny or defer to any free man, either judge or rights or justice. So you cannot. What they're doing is illegal, people. Okay? No free man from henceforth shall be given or sell any more of the land. And again, they put it in a plain detail for you again. No free man shall be henceforth sell or given any of the land. You cannot do that to the people. And that's the Magna Carta Treaty. I've just given you pieces of it that protects the Aboriginal rights. Okay? From these thieves. Now, the affidavit of sovereignty. This is what most people need to do, because carrying a name that is a straw name from a birth certificate gives you limited privilege and then more privilege over you. So you would want to own the straw name. So owning the straw name, now you will do an affidavit of sovereignty. But it can be done in both ways. You can do it where you take the affidavit of sovereignty. Not only are you owning the straw name, but you also create a new identity on it and take back your Aboriginal rights with it at the same time. So you also have your real true identity, and the straw name is still belong to you. So in any procedure needed to use any one of these different forms of identification to whether work with the banks or to do whatever transaction you want to do within the corporate systems that they have, because they're very violated in, and they're very vindictive. And what they do most of the time, even though the international community signed for them to obey the indigenous ID, sometimes they pretend they don't want to accept it and give you trouble. So once you sign affidavit of sovereignty owning the straw name, you can still keep the identification card just so that you could do business in the banks and other stuff like that. That's all. You don't really have to use it on a broad perspective, but for those purposes. Because sometimes you might go by some bank or Western Union and they try to violate you. Even though the international community is signed for them to obey the Aboriginal people and to respect them and their own travel documents and to have respect and do business with them fairly and equally, they realize the power that Aboriginal people have and they don't want to come in terms, so they violate the treaties and they never obey some of the laws that are designed for them to obey, because they feel when Aboriginal people get all these powers, when people see that, most people will decline from being a slave and attached to the system and come out and be free. Therefore, more and more, the system will collapse and they will lose the power. So this is the reason why they put up these fronts and try to deny you entry sometime with the Aboriginal identification into the airports, and some banks deny using it and the Western Unions deny accepting it for you to send money to your loved ones. These are the reasons why they try this violation, because of the power that you have with your Aboriginal rights, knowing that you don't depend on them and you have everything that is needed to do what necessary stuff you need, whether it's to travel, whether it's to do business, anything. You have all the documents and you don't need them. So that's the reason why some states still seem to violate international law by not playing they want to accept it. But we're coming down hard on them and we're implementing measures so that they fully recognize what is real. So we're going to take this thing to a different level. And I have to do these videos because I love you people. And I definitely want to see you people rise out of that negative perception that you have yourself in and you have the system have you, and you thinking in the box. I need you to come out of the box and have critical thinking so you could advance yourself, so you could be who you was born to be. And I will end this today from my people. Peace, love, and respect to also corporate wards who have no understanding about what I'm talking, and my Aboriginal people. Peace and love. And when you come to the realization of yourself and willing to get enlightened, contact Tonic Man. Look at me. Contact me on YouTube. Contact me on Facebook. Just type in Tonic Man and you get a hold of me. And I'll send more information for you. We could correspond there. Peace and love. Have a good day, my people.